All right, you're welcome back, and you're watching SoH Breakfast Show, reaching you live from our studios here in Bajapuri Hills. So let's turn to other discussion. This time around, tilting a little bit towards religious matters. Symbol of Hope is an initiative of the Lutheran World Federation with headquarters in Geneva, Switzerland. The group is a non-governmental organization primarily targeting migrants who are exploited, leaving the shores of the country in the guise of searching for a greener pasture overseas. Symbol of Hope has been working around the clock, especially in southern Nigeria, to save and provide succor to those trapped in the situation and other social vices, giving victims hope for a better future. Now, to unpack the group's mission in Adamawa State and northern Nigeria at large, we're being joined by Dean Reverend Emmanuel Gabriel Subewope, is the country director, Symbol of Hope, and he joins us now to further this discussion. A very good morning to you, Reverend.
Good morning.
Reverend, you're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, going by the prelude of the tenets or the essence of creating this initiative that is the Lutheran World Federation, one will return to the fact that it could be limited within the scope of the Lutherans, if you understand what I mean. But how widened, is the horizon to see that it goes beyond denomination, goes beyond faith, creed, and goes beyond, a particular ethnic group, just to meet up the need and give support to human beings?
Yeah, the issue of irregular migration and human trafficking, it's not a religious problem. It's a problem that affects all. It cuts across gender, race, ethnic affiliations, and all this. So it's a problem, the problem we're dealing with is a problem that affects all. So I would rather see it from this perspective that what we are doing has nothing to do with religion. Even though it's a non-governmental organization that is faith-based, but we have Muslims and Christians and even those who don't believe in any religion, atheists. We are working together to see that we address this issue that I call a pandemic, a silent pandemic that is eating deep into us, the black race, and most people don't seem to really get that. And so it is an issue that affects all. It's not just limited to religious affiliations.
So what informed this particular initiative to want to talk about, migrants and talk about some of these, of course, problems we face as human? What really informed the Symbol of Hope?
Yeah, the Symbols of Hope, first, as it was said earlier, is an initiative of the Lutheran World Federation with the headquarters in Geneva, Switzerland, and here in Nigeria we have the headquarters in Abuja. And the brain behind all of this is the fact that the church needs to move away from preaching just about salvation to talking about the social lives of the people. We need to be holistic, carry the spirituality alongside the social life. After the church service, these people have life to live. We need to watch them to see what is going on. How can we help them to think straight and do the right thing? And so it has been discovered that young people, particularly, let me say, young people are migrating in large number. Statistics shows that we have about 15,000 Nigerians leaving the shores of this country and this continent in their quest for the search for a greener pasture. This 15,000 is just limited to those who are going in search of a better football career. Forget about other things. There are others that are going there for other things, but this one is limited to football career. Just that. So
hold on. welcome back, and sorry for that little bridge. We are actually talking about the symbol of hope, looking at what the initiative has planned, you know, especially for those for migration in the country, and looking at how we can really curb this, giving hope to people that you can also survive in a country like Nigeria. Doing this discussion, I know Chris is really laughing at there are a lot of people who are interested in going outside the shores of this country to look for greener pastures, whether we like it or not. But let's also continue this conversation with Reverend Emmanuel Gabriel Subawope, who is a country director, Symbol of Hope, and he's been in conversation with us. You're talking about, you know, those who go outside the shores of this country for greener pastures, and those who go in pursuit of, you know, football career. These are categories. What about those who really have lost hope in a country like Nigeria, lost hope of, you know, having a living, lost hope of having a future in a country like this, and think the only opportunity or the only choice for them is to go outside the shores of this country for better life?
Yeah, the symbols of hope would encourage that if you must go, follow due process.
Due process is difficult to follow, in the sense that the processes are cumbersome, the processes are not easy to come by, and then when you apply, it takes forever to you know, get that particular leverage or access.
That's when you don't know. It is at your beck and call.
Okay, now
yeah, most people don't really understand.
Exactly. Give us the secret now.
Yes, you just get the knowledge. Go to the embassies if you have to go. The embassies will not permit you to go when you don't have resident permit, when you don't have your tentative reason for your going. You cannot just sit here and decide, I want to go to Lagos. When you don't know anyone in Lagos, you don't have any job to do in Lagos, but you will end up becoming a nuisance. I think, apart from just looking at, I have to leave this country, you know about this country, but you don't know about London.
Of course.
You don't know about, you know, Europe and other part of the world. We are working with about 270 something returned migrants. Some of them were deported. Some of them came back on their own in Benin City, Edo State capital. Yeah. You know, you need to hear their stories.
That seems to be the hub for all of this particular situation. But has the story started changing in Edo State, for instance, where you tend to, you know, have the highest number of those who migrate, you know, to other parts of the world illegally, going through deserts, going to the Mediterranean Sea with all those awful experiences? The
government is really working hard. The traditional council is really working hard. All the relevant agencies are working hard. But like you said earlier, it's not an easy thing to submerge, to press down, because there are factors. The push factor, the poverty rate is on the increase. Unemployment is on the increase. Insecurity is on the increase. People are losing hope. People are giving up. But that is not a justification that we should embark on this deadly, or rather, you know, suicide mission. Out of every 100 young people that leave the shores of this country via the desert and the Mediterranean, most times more than 90 of them will die, either on the desert or on the Mediterranean. The few that will be able to cross over, if they will narrate their stories, their ordeal. We have young girls that will tell us at age 16, 20, 30 young men are sleeping with them in one day. This is a virgin from her home, only to be exploited to that rate. Most of them are victims of trafficking. I think our young people need to really understand that it's a suicide mission. The chances of crossing over is not even 2. Let's just say 1. If out of 100, 90 died, I think it should scare us.
Of course.
Not just to talk about the youths who are passionate, who are desperate to go out. We should also talk to the government. We should look inward. What is that thing that is pushing our young people out? It is humiliating. If you go out there without legal documents, you end up running hide and seek every now and then. The government should be ashamed that in Lebanon and other parts of the world, Dubai, you know, our young people are
the ones doing menial jobs.
All of this. Yeah. Okay, we are talking about trans or intercontinental, you know, migration. Let's talk about in-country. If you go to Edo State, there are communities that you will almost conclude that these people are from, this is, you're in Yola. Yeah. Because young people from Adamawa State are there. And what are they doing? Shoemakers, gate men, and, you know, most of them are into, you know, prostitution. And at the end of the day, they import a lifestyle that is not commensurate with what we have here. Most of the terrible lifestyles that our young people are into are not here. They were imported from other parts of the country. And so migrating, we are not only looking at international migration. We should also look in what we see.
In-country migration. All right. Well, what is applicable, what is experienced here in the northern part of the country might be different from the southern part and eastern part of the country. Certainly. No doubt about it, the northeastern part of Nigeria have been under the siege, of Boko Haram insurrection, you know, and quite a number of persons, you know, have become destitute in their own land. Become IDPs, orphans before their time. Women became widows before their time. And some of them are still not, you know, resettled. You know, talking about returning to their community. Some of them are still in the IDPs camp. So what message does the Symbol of Hope initiative has, you know, for such people who have undergone this horrendous treatment?
The Symbols of Hope is part of our activities that we visit IDPs. We talk to them on the dangers of falling victims of human traffickers, because human traffickers are in the forefront of aiding irregular migration. They lure, they cajole, or they try to convince the young people that there is a better life out there, and they take them. And so they have resorted into making IDPs their easy target, because this person is desperate. This young lady is desperate. Her parents were being killed, maybe by the insurgent, the Boko Harams, and then here she is struggling to find what to eat and how to live, to survive. And then a young lady bounds into her to say, "Oh, I will take you to Italy. You would just be a sales girl, and you will make a whole lot of money." The young lady will joyfully accept that offer, not knowing that she is being lured to go and be a prostitute. Where 20, 30 young men, or rather healthy men, will sleep with her in one day without her consent. That's gender-based violence. And so I'm saying we go to IDPs and create sensitization. Sometimes in May we were in one of the IDPs camp in Abuja, around Garki area. We took palliatives and all of this, but that's not just the focus. The focus was to talk to them, help them to guard against traffickers, and help them to stand on their ground. Yes, life is not easy in the country, but it is better to die here than to die on the Mediterranean or in the desert.
Now, Reverend, an average, or let's say a least person who lives below $1 per day in a country like Nigeria, somebody who has no hope for a job, somebody who has no opportunity, or knowing where the next meal will come from, will say, these are just, you know, comments, these are just words of the mouth to just, you know, suit what you plan doing, and not necessarily looking at practical things that are happening, you know, within the environment as regard that particular person we're talking about. How much more convincing are some of your programs in the Symbol of Hope to convince such a person that there is hope in a country like Nigeria, and you need to stay home and look for opportunities to survive on, than going outside the shores of this country?
Yeah, part of the activities of the Symbols of Hope includes empowerment. What we do is, first, to the returned migrants or deported, we give them psychosocial support, counsel them, reintegrate them back to their parents. Some of them, their parents are disowning them. Now we give them that support, we counsel them, we meet the parents, we talk to them, and then most of them will tell you, I don't have a job here, and so I have to go, man has to leave. And so we will try to see how we can help the person put him back. In the next 2 weeks we will be in Edo State again to empower about 60-70 young people again to put them back on track. We have not come into Adamawa so much like that because Edo State or the South is the epicenter of those things. And so we are still working on seeing how we would at least make a landmark there. We've been there for the past 3 years. We've made some little empowerments. Some of them are placed on stipends. Monthly we give them something that they will survive. Maybe I use this time to say, let me give you a short story of a young girl who was deceived into this, and this young lady happened to be 16-17 years of age, and there was a little problem in their family, and she was accused of being the one who stole the money. A little money got missing in the house. And so her brothers and mother, father, everyone in the house gathered and beat her mercilessly. And after that, they stripped her naked, took her to the street, went on like that. And after everything, the young lady was just devastated, and the young man walked to her, lady, I will help you. You cannot continue to be in this community. I will help you. And of course, she had no option. It's too much. Kind of situation, and she decided to follow him. The next thing is she found herself in Libya, Tripoli. And she was sold from one client to another, and before she realized, 20-30 men were coming. The madam is busy collecting the money, and she is the one at the receiving end. At the end of the day, she decided, I can't take it anymore. She jumped up from a 3-story building at night and fell down, broke her leg, only to be shot again by the guards around on her. And this lady carried that bullet for months. And she was discovered by IOM. They deported her back, and she carried it for months. She's still there, over there. So it's not easy. Our culture, our lifestyle, our mindset, everything has to be changed. So we are calling on government, non-governmental organizations, religious bodies, not just to talk about repent. We need to see how we can affect the social lives of these people. We are calling on traditional rulers. Part of our activities are we visit these people, make advocacies, talk to them about it. Some of them are so excited, super excited, and are calling for partnership. Symbols of Hope alone cannot do this. Of course not. We are calling on other non-governmental and the well-to-do in the country. Please look at this as a pandemic. It's eating deep.
It is.
A lot of young people went there, and they are forced into robbery. Guns were handed over to them, and they will do the robbery, then their bosses will collect the money. These young men are back in the country. What do you expect them to do? They will, if they don't find what to do, they will pick up guns and continue. Already unconsciously they were. So this was of
recently, the number of suicide in Nigeria skyrocketed, and most as a result of one losing interest, one doesn't have hope. Like they say, some do not even know where the next meal will come from. So what plan or what is symbol of hope has with regarding people who have these suicidal tendencies? What do you do to their mind to change their mindsets?
Yeah, that's where psychosocial support comes in, counseling. But of course, the problems are not just reducing, they are on the increase daily. And so, alongside offering psychosocial support and counseling them, we would also call on the government. Most of these people are devastated. They have economic problems. Some of them psychological problems. Spiritual bodies, or rather religious bodies, should do well, should do more. And the government should also wake up. There are a lot of things that people are giving up in life. If 10 people should commit suicide in a year, that's terrible for the nation. I think our leaders should wake up. A lot of things are happening. Nigeria is almost the best country in the whole world as far as I'm concerned. With the little I've gone around to see, Nigeria is unique. Nigeria is, we have all that it takes to be the best in the whole world. So our leaders should wake up, see how they can bring life back into these people.
All right. Let me just give a heads up for the symbol of hope. In Adamawa State, for instance, or in this particular region, the northeastern part of the country, things that you see trending are there's this particular ethnic group, the Michika people to be specific, do travel. Most of they are known for their industrious ability. They travel out. What happened some months ago because of this COVID-19 and some kind of policies enacted by the Lagos State government? That's where most of the times you find them. Most of them were actually sent back home. They came back home with nothing. They came back home to meet nothing because there are no opportunities for them.
And because most of them, their villages have been overrun
by the Boko Haram. Another trend, we've also heard a security situation or report saying that some young, people from this particular region are now also being recruited by the Boko Haram simply because of, their vulnerability, and then the unemployment rate. So with this kind of situation, now that you're in Adamawa State, maybe to assess what is going on and all of that, what should the people start to expect, maybe going forward, from the symbol of hope?
Yes, it still bounces back to the problem of our nation. But we're here to talk about what the symbols of hope will do. We are still creating awareness, talking to people, but there's more to it than just talking to people. And again, we cannot empower everyone. And that is why I'm calling on other religious bodies, non-governmental organizations, political leaders, and the well-to-do in the states. I think people don't really understand what is happening out there. I've lived in Benin, I've lived in Lagos to some extent, and all of this. You need to see how humiliating it is for most of our young people that are going there. Sometimes you see a dead body by the roadside because it's from the north. Sometimes they say, oh, it's Aboki. A lot of you go to the prisons, you see about 80% of them there are young people from the north. Some of them are there because they cannot pay 1,000 naira. Fine.
And there is nobody to their aid.
Yes, we have the best opportunity. The government should ensure this security. A lot of our young people will come back. So,
all right,
security, job security, and even food security.
All the securities.
All the securities in place. Well, most interesting talking to you, Reverend. Thank you very much for your time, and then what the hope, a symbol of hope, is doing. We can only hope for the best.
That's it.
Thank you so very much.
Thank you.
All right. Well, that's our conversation for today. I was having for Safia Breakfast Show. For those who might really be thinking, to migrate outside the shores of this country, from some of these testimonies, I think you should start having a rethink.
Certainly.
Well, we also will remind you that COVID-19 is real. Just go by the safety protocols as provided by NCDC. Thank you very much for sharing your time with us. My name is Yetunde Oshimbi.
And I'm Chris Jacobs, urging you to stay safe by reporting any suspicious item, movement of persons to security operatives nearest to you. Go Tell News comes up at the top of the hour. Have a lovely day.